It feels like bike paths get blamed for a lot in Montreal. Everything from killing businesses to wasting the city's money. But what does the data actually say? I'm going to take a look at some statements that we've heard from Montrealers, politicians, and social media users. Let's start with this first one from TikTok. Where are people supposed to park? They have taken so much parking away, I've seen people park in their yards. It's true that building new bike lanes often removes parking. According to the city's most recent data, between 2018 and 2022, almost 6,000 parking spots were eliminated to make way for bike lanes. But how significant is that? Let's do some math here. According to city estimates, there are about 500,000 street parking spots, so the ones that were removed are only about 1% of what's available. But obviously, that's not going to mean much to you if you're losing a spot that you rely on, especially one that's close to your home. Now let's go to our next statement. This one is probably one that you've heard before, but this time from a resident in Little Italy.
Let's say I'm driving around, I want to go shop somewhere, and I go around the block 3 times, can't find parking. That commerce is going to lose out on what I want to buy there.
According to researchers at the University of California who analyzed 23 studies, bike infrastructure generally has a positive or non-significant economic impact on retail and food services. On the other hand, it can have a negative impact on car-centric businesses like auto repair shops or large home goods stores. Obviously, it can be hard to hear that if you're an outlier or an entrepreneur who's worried about any negative impact whatsoever. Just listen to this business owner.
We do have customers that say, hey, we don't know where to park, and I'll have to kind of guide them to where to go. And it almost seems like they would have left if they didn't find parking. We're known for our winter jackets, outerwear, boots. And in the winter, I don't see a traffic of bicycles coming here and buying a winter coat.
Which brings me to my next statement, this one from TikTok. Less than 1% of the population of Montreal bikes in the winter. The data we have on this, admittedly, isn't the best. The most recent numbers that we have on the actual number of winter cyclists is from 2020, and that was an exceptional year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But according to a survey carried out by Vélo Québec that year, about 60,000 Montrealers, or just 1.4% of the population, cycle in the winter. The city has been working to bring that number up. Workers clear many of the main paths after it snows. Bixi even started offering winter bikes 2 years ago, and they say the number of people using them continues to increase. Now let's listen to a statement from the party leader for Ensemble Montréal.
Ce que vous allez voir comme chiffre, c'est parce que les pistes cyclables sont de plus en plus utilisées, on voit qu'il y a quand même des accidents qui arrivent. Il y a eu une augmentation d'accidents qui sont arrivés.
Let's unpack this. The number that Soraya Martinez Ferrada is referencing comes from the last yearly report from Montreal Police. In 2024, the SPVM reported 674 collisions involving either cyclists or scooter users. That's up from 623 collisions in 2023 and 564 in 2022. She's basically using this number to support her idea of auditing all bike paths in Montreal to make sure they are safe. But whether you are for or against that proposal, the SPVM numbers don't really support this argument. That 674 number doesn't outline where the accidents happened. Yes, it might have been on bike paths, but it also might be accidents that happened on the street. The police data also doesn't show how many of these collisions actually involved bikes, since the data groups together bicycles and scooters. Essentially, it doesn't say anything about bike path safety. Agence Santé does say that crashes do happen on bike paths every year, though they find it usually happens when people are distracted. Now let's hear this statement from Projet Montréal.
Les rues les plus dangereuses, là, c'est celles où il n'y a pas de piste cyclable, où il n'y a pas d'aménagement sécuritaire.
There is evidence to suggest that bike paths do make streets safer. Researchers that reviewed 13 years of road accident data in the U.S. found that good bike facilities lead to better safety outcomes for all road users, specifically protected and separated bike facilities, which are connected throughout the city. Part of the conclusion was that the more bike infrastructure there is, the more cyclists use them, which has a sort of calming effect on traffic and encourages people to drive slower. As for the other parties running in this election, Transition Montréal says it wants to continue developing the city's express bike routes. Futur Montréal says it wants to rethink, redirect, or restrict lanes that affect businesses and reduce parking. Action Montreal says it would remove or adjust bike paths that hinder traffic flow or take away parking. You can go check out their platforms before you vote in November.